It's the Riot Podcast, Tuesday, June 13th edition. How much heartbreak are you experiencing at the news of Pat Sajak retiring from Wheel of Fortune?
Mine's minimal.
Minimal?
I haven't watched Wheel of Fortune. I don't know ever.
You don't think you've ever watched it?
I mean, I'm sure it's been on TV.
There's
I've never
Yeah.
turned it on and been like,
At your grandma's house?
maybe.
There's been some great highlights, even as of late, that have come out of people just saying crazy stuff or totally failing.
I
It's
have
good
seen
for
highlights.
that.
I've seen highlights of it. I have not watched like an episode of it.
Although,
I don't know if ever.
I will say, and Pat Sajak, gotta love him, but the highlights are rarely him doing something spectacular.
Oh, no.
It's always somebody else. But he has announced he is retiring. So at the end of this season of Wheel of Fortune, you ready for some replacement options?
Let's do it. Let's see if we can jazz it up a little bit, right?
All right, you want to jazz it up?
Mix it up.
How about we jazz it up with somebody that has been on the show just about as long as Pat Sajak has? Vanna White.
I feel like, I don't know.
If anybody could do it, though, I mean,
she would
it's her,
know how to
right?
do it.
Yeah, she's
But,
watched him do it for decades.
If we take her out of her role, then we have to fill her role. There's just a lot of movement there.
What about then? This is an obvious choice. LeVar Burton.
He was in the news for Jeopardy, right?
He really wanted to be the Jeopardy host and seemed very genuinely heartbroken that he did not get chosen for that.
Well, wouldn't it feel kind of fake if he took this now?
Kind of a runner-up type thing.
Yeah, like if he takes the Wheel of Fortune one after he tried so hard to get Jeopardy.
Yeah.
It's like, how bad this guy really want it, you know?
It does kind of feel like you're trying to go out with your ex-girlfriend's best friend or
Yeah,
something
exactly.
like that.
It just seems like you really wanted a girlfriend. Like
and
it's,
moving in right next door to her or something.
was it really Jeopardy or was it just any daytime television show or nighttime television show?
How about this guy, John Michael Higgins? You would recognize him, I think, if you saw him. He's from the movie Yes Man. He also has hosted shows like America Says and Split Second and Celebrity Jeopardy. He was
I
a guest
recognize
host.
his face.
Yeah.
For me personally, he doesn't do a lot for me.
I'm just not familiar enough with him hosting stuff to know.
I wouldn't turn on the TV for him.
Here's one that I like. This would be my personal choice. Scott Rogowski. If you want to take it a younger turn, he was the host of HQ Trivia, the app that was so popular for a while before it basically went under. He was great as that. I think he put a lot of effort into Wheel of Fortune. I think he'd switch it up, and then you actually would be seeing highlights of the host because he'd be cracking funny jokes.
Young guy, young gun.
Yeah.
For me, meh.
Not enough to get you in.
Not enough to get me in.
Wayne Brady.
I do like Wayne Brady.
He's hosted game shows before. Don't
I
forget
think
the
Wayne
lyrics.
Brady is funny.
Let's make a deal.
I'm for Wayne Brady. So far, he is my favorite.
He's your favorite. And
of your options.
Last choice, Michael Strahan.
He also, top two there. Those are my top two.
Those are your top two. Are they enough to get you to watch? You're going to start tuning into Wheel of Fortune if Michael Strahan becomes the host?
I don't think so, personally.
Is there anybody that could get you to tune into Wheel of Fortune?
I'm sure there is. I don't know. I don't know if I can think of somebody outside my head that could probably get me to tune in.
Anna de Armas, maybe.
If we're going for more of a attractive appeal, you're swinging it that way.
So Michael Strahan's not attractive now.
It's not that he's not attractive, just not as much for me.
I know a lot of people are going to watch either way. It leads me to my next question, though, because there was a lot of complaints about Jeopardy. People all had their different opinions on who should be the host. They picked a host, and they kicked that host off. Now they have two hosts that people seem to dislike one and or both, many people. But yeah, Jeopardy still gets a ton of viewers. And but my question is, how long does somebody have to host something or be the face of something before they just can't be replaced, Because Pat Sajak's been doing this for 40 years.
Good question.
At some point, do you just say, we can't do this show without him? He is the show.
Oh, so you're saying should they just cancel Wheel of Fortune?
Yeah. Or think about it in terms of bands, right? Sometimes you could have a band that has a singer for a long, long time, and then if that singer drops out, the band will keep going. And it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel the same. It's like you can't call yourself this band. You can't call this Wheel of Fortune without Pat Sajak. You can't call yourself this band without this singer. And you just have to hang it up and just say, you got to come up with something different.
I don't know
Because
what the
40
correct
years
answer
not
is.
long enough for that.
That's a long time. 40 years is a long time for you to. I don't know though, because you don't want to end it. People love Wheel of Fortune. They want it to go on.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Is Pat Sajak? Is he Wheel of Fortune?
I think so.
You think he's Wheel of Fortune?
Are you saying it Fortune? You
Yeah,
saying
Wheel
it
of
like
Fortune.
that? Wheel of Fortune.
That's how I say
It's
it.
not technically wrong.
It's my accent.
Wheel of Fortune.
So I was taught to say
Yeah.
it.
I'll tell you who's not going to be the announcer for Wheel of Fortune.
It's not going to be me.
Yeah.
It's not going to be me. No, I feel like it's the game, though. People love the game.
It
People
doesn't
love-
matter, no matter who's hosting.
Yeah, no matter who's hosting, I think they
And
love the game.
I think whoever hosts, as long as maybe Scott Rogowski wouldn't be a good choice because he'd make it too much, like too different, where people just like the comforting aspect. When you tune into Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune, it's different, but it always feels the same.
It's always the same, and you know the
Yeah.
game, and when you tune into it, you know what you're expecting.
So it has to be a Pat Sajak type. And Scott Rogowski definitely isn't that. Maybe Wayne Brady is. He
Could
just
be
comes
Wayne
in,
Brady.
blends into the scenery just enough to just make it feel familiar.
I'm sure it'll be somebody that we didn't even name.
Yeah, probably.
That's how it
Probably.
always goes.
Well, good luck to Wheel of Fortune. I hope they find a new good host, and congrats to Pat Sajak on a wonderful long career. Great podcast today. We got a lot of good stuff. Tomorrow's Would You Rather Wednesday. Question is, would you rather go to a music festival with your best friend or go backstage for one concert with your best friend?
Good question.
Think about it and text in 8772 Radio U.
See you
Catch you
guys
next
soon.
time.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The worst of the riot. Radio U.
I've got a problematic relationship behavior for you to avoid.
Let's hear it.
You ever heard of fexting?
Fexting.
Yeah, you ever fext?
I don't think so. I don't know what that is. It
That's
sounds
good.
like. Can I guess first? I have no
Okay,
idea.
yeah. Go ahead.
Fexting is like fake texting.
Fake texting.
That's what I came up with.
What does that mean?
I don't know, because that's the first thing I came up with.
That's not what it is.
Is it? That's all I've got for now.
that is not what it is. When you hear what it is, it'll be
Make
very
more
obvious.
sense?
But I'm glad to hear that you haven't fexed before. Fexting is where you fight over texts.
Well, everybody's done that.
Everybody's done that, even you. But it's something to avoid. And the reason that some relationship experts are calling this out is because it just makes a lot of sense that if you're gonna fight, that's something you need to do in person. Because what is one of the major problems, and I know I've definitely experienced this. I'm sure probably everybody has, that when you get into a fight over text, sometimes the fight starts without even being a fight, because over text there's not tone. You know what I mean? You can say something perfectly innocent, but if the other person reads it in a way where they want to be upset, or where they read it a different way than you wrote it, then that leads to a fight. And then all of a sudden, everything you say sounds mean, and that's not even though that isn't what you intend at all.
That is true.
That's all true. On top of that, you also, according to these relationship experts, you can't just ignore the other person either, though, because that would be the next thing, right? Well, if they want to fext, if they want to think that I said something rude, even though I didn't say something rude, I just typed something normal and it seemed rude, you just can't ignore them either. You need to try to diffuse things and say, hey, let's hash this out in person.
See, this is what you need to know about fighting over text that I would say.
Yeah.
Because for texting or whatever, I think we're all very, very aware that texting and whatnot is not the best mode of conversation.
It's
not the
not,
best way to
no.
portray something, like Hudson said. But I think more so is there's certain people that over text are going to act completely different in a fight than they are in person. There's people that over the phone, if they're texting, they're going to be a lot stronger than they may be in person. If you get them face to face,
That's a good point.
they're not going to say the things face to face that they're going to say to you over text. They may crumble face to face, where others of us including myself,
Uh-huh.
are better at fighting in person. I think I'm not much of a, if I'm in a conversation with a girl I'm talking to, a girl I'm dating,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fight over text, not because I think my message is gonna get misconstrued, but because simply because I'm a better arguer in person.
You think you have a better
I'm
chance
gonna
of winning?
lose the fight if I do it over text, but if I do it in person, I'm for sure gonna win the fight. That's how it's gonna go, and
Yeah.
I'll be able to portray it in a way to where I don't seem like such a jerk. I think
exactly.
yeah, I can make it to where at the end of it, we're in a better place. If you fight over text, there's no way you're not going to fight in person. Like, it's coming. There's no way anything ever gets solved fighting over text, but in person, you can actually solve something.
Man, that is true. Sometimes for me in relationships, like you would, you get into a little texting situation. And then, well, you know what never happens? You go home to see the person.
You're like, hey.
And they're like, hey, everything's cool.
What's going on?
Yeah, I made you dinner.
So if you want to fight twice, you should text fight first.
Yeah.
And then you can see each other later on, and then you can fight again. But if you only want to fight one time, then you should just do it in person, I think.
I think, so here's what you can take away from this is watch how you interpret texts that you receive.
Yeah.
Don't come into them with an angry mind.
But if you are a bad fighter in person, then you should just text and
Keep
fight.
on texting.
Nobody does it better. The Riot Radio U.
You ever heard of the 6-second kiss rule?
I've heard of like the 5-second rule.
Yeah, it's way different.
Different rule.
Way different. Although the 5-second kiss rule would be close, but maybe not quite good enough. The 6-second kiss rule is the idea that if you're in a relationship, you need to kiss the other person, your significant other, for at least 6 seconds consecutively to bring happiness to your relationship. You guys will be happier together and last longer and have a more fulfilling relationship if you can kiss for 6 seconds in a row every day.
6 seconds is a long time.
It's probably long.
It's a long kiss.
You want to test it out?
Should we
We don't have to kiss. We can just count to 6.
I got the stopwatch ready. If you want, we'll just do dead silence for 6 seconds. Ready?
Yeah, all right. If you're with your significant other, start kissing, right?
Here we go.
Now. We can't stay silent for 6 seconds, though.
We can. Time.
That was it? That was long.
That was a long kiss, huh?
That was a long kiss.
Now I think about like my average kiss length, right? Because it's not 6 seconds.
No.
Like, I'm not doing 6-second kisses. I'm doing like probably like a 3.
Maybe that's why your relationships haven't lasted.
Maybe like a 4 if I'm feeling really crazy.
Yeah.
But 6 seconds is a long time. I feel like it's a little bit too long.
Yeah.
Some people might say.
I think you gotta test it out because this is a try, according to TikTok anyways, and some relationship experts off of TikTok as well, some marriage experts. This is a tried and true rule. Like there's actually science that backs it up, and that is that when you kiss for at least 6 seconds, that's what it will often take for your body to release oxytocin. We know oxytocin, that's like a feel-good chemical. So if you can kiss for 6 seconds straight, or they also say hug for 20 seconds straight.
That's a long hug.
That is a long hug.
That's a really long hug.
Yeah.
Hug for 20 seconds?
You wouldn't hug a stranger for 20 seconds.
No chance you're hugging a stranger for 20 seconds.
I don't even know if I hug for, like, if I'm saying goodbye to, like, say my sister came into town this weekend.
You're not even hugging her for 6 seconds.
When I said goodbye to her, I don't think we hugged for 6 seconds.
No.
So that's even long. This is difficult to achieve. No wonder we have so many relationships ending because this is so difficult.
And some people, like for me, I think I could do it. I could hug somebody for 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I could kiss somebody for 6 seconds. But there's people out there that we aren't considering that are pretty awkward people.
Okay.
Like to hold a hug for 20 seconds. Like, how are you doing that without there better be a joke or something in there? I mean, 20 seconds is a long time. Like, if you're doing a 20-second hug, if you have an awkward bone in your body, it's coming out in that 20 seconds. If you've been thinking about something awkward in the past 6 days, it's coming out in that 20 seconds.
Yeah. You're there's going to be a slip of the tongue. I wonder a couple things about the 6-second kiss rule. One, at what point in the relationship does that get introduced? Because it's not like a second date. You start the 6-second kisses.
If you go for a 6-second date or kiss, on your second date, that'd be a wild maneuver.
Yeah. So where?
But you know what would be a confident look, though?
When does
be a confident look. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, maybe it would work.
It could work.
I just, at which juncture does the relationship get serious enough where you're going for the 6 seconds? It's like, honey, I think we need to, we've been going out for a long time. I think it's time for us to take the next step. I think we need to kiss for 6 seconds every day.
See,
it's what the experts say we need to do.
There's so many questions on this, too, because when I'm thinking of a kiss here, we're not talking about like a makeout or anything like that.
No, this is
we're
different
just talking
than
about
that.
a straight kiss.
One kiss.
Which is like no slip
Lips
of the tongue.
locked.
We're just puckering up and just locking in for 6 seconds. That's a long time.
You do that eyes open or shut?
You gotta be shut. If you're kissing eyes open for 6 seconds, they're gonna think you're like ready to murder them
Your
later.
eyeballs might touch.
Yeah, exactly.
At that point.
If you're doing that for 6 seconds, then you're for sure gonna end up no date after that.
Yeah,
I would say you're gonna be single.
This is wild news to me, but I mean, the science doesn't lie. I am gonna have to go home and kiss my wife for 6 seconds.
And then I'm gonna have to go.
I don't know how we've made it this long.
And find someone to kiss for 6 seconds.
This is Radio U's Worst of the Riot.
You're a Harry Potter fan, aren't you?
I do like Harry Potter.
You're a Potterhead.
Mhm.
You remember the childhood home from Harry Potter, where he grows up living with Aunt Petunia, Uncle Vernon, and Dudley, his cousin?
Yes.
You recall that?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody actually lives in that house.
Oh, it's a real house.
Yeah, it's a real house that one person, one family really lives in. And they just did an interview. They prefer to remain anonymous, but they just did an interview talking about what it's like to live in the house where Harry Potter grew up. And they say they kind of make it out to sound like it kind of sucks.
Not a good house?
Because, not that there's anything wrong with the house itself, it's just that they say that people show up day and night all the time. They will just show up dressed up in, Harry Potter cosplay, basically.
Oh, I'd hate it.
And they say even that some people will come and just like cry at the house.
Cry?
Yeah, cry.
Just of happiness that they saw it?
I think there could be a range of emotions you could experience if you're really a Harry Potter fan growing up or whatever, and you'd come and you could cry because, yeah, happy that you finally experienced this, sad that your childhood is behind you perhaps, or sad for, just all the emotion that took place at that home. But nevertheless, people are showing up crying. And this person says it's just a day and night thing. That constantly carloads of people showing up at their house just to see the Harry Potter house.
And think about too, people are going to ask to come inside.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think a lot of times with houses like these, they have to put up signage, whether you like it or not, that says don't try to come, don't step on the lawn. Don't come to the door. This is as far as you can go. No trespassing, because they're just so inundated with people that want to come and cry, have some experience, or just take pictures for Instagram, whatever it is, that they have to really put up some very clear signage to deter people from overstepping.
And even if you do that, people will still overstep.
Oh, yeah.
Because
for
everybody
sure.
thinks that they're special, right? So if I go and I think that I'm special, I'm going to go there and be like, oh, but could I be the one?
You don't understand how much this means to me.
I am the biggest Harry Potter fan. I would love to go inside your house. And if someone came to my door and said, can I come inside your house? I would say, dude, I haven't even, my house is a mess. I have dishes in here.
Yeah.
My dog, Jimmy, stinks. You don't want to come in here. This is not a place for you to just waltz in.
Yeah.
It's a Tuesday. It's not like this is some day where people are coming to tour my house.
Uh-huh.
This is just a normal Tuesday.
But
I just got home. I stayed up late last night.
If you had a house like this, though, that was a famous... Here's what I don't understand is how you could be an owner of a home that's so iconic to so many people and get so many visitors and not be profiting off of that in some way.
Yeah.
Either, to me, clearly you must have had the house before Harry Potter came and filmed in it, right? And then what, you didn't think that when they came and filmed that it would be a big deal and all that it would bring towards you and this location? You didn't think people would figure it out?
Well, maybe at the time when they asked him, they were like, this movie's probably going to flop anyway.
Yeah.
They had no idea
I'll just
what
make
they
a
were in
quick
store
buck
for.
at that time. But I don't know. I feel like if it was me if somebody comes and asks to film at my house for some big movie, I mean, it's Harry Potter. It was a big budget. You'd have to know that. I'd have like Fridays. Fridays would be like tour the Hudson house. They filmed this movie here. I'd be making some money off. Or I'd just sell the house because there would have to be a fan of the movie that would want to pay.
They would want to buy it
above market value. Yeah. So that's my 2 cents.
I agree.
I don't want to hear a lot of the complaining is basically what I'm saying.
That doesn't feel bad for you. Even though they're knocking on their door at midnight.
Even though
Can I come inside?
Yeah.
Oh, hi there.
Worst of the riot.
Crank that up.
Radio U.
What's something when you see it, just the sheer fact of you seeing it, it makes you happy? I have a survey here of some of the top answers for that very question. And number one, the most likely thing to just make people happy when they see it is the beach.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, that's obvious.
A pretty standard answer, though.
It's
not my type answer, but a pretty standard answer.
I think if I just see a beach, though, I think I get happier.
Yeah.
Even if it's not like a big ocean beach, even if it's just like a smaller lake. I just like, for me, just seeing water, like out nature water, makes me happy.
But for me personally, that's not going to make me the happiest.
Okay.
My reasoning is because when you do see it, you were expecting it. I think the best things are things you're not expecting.
Oh.
And so I think my answer is when you see them, you're going to be happier than when you see the beach. When you see the beach, you're like, you were heading to the beach.
Yeah.
You don't just run into the water. You don't just run into the ocean.
If you did, you make a big mistake, and that's actually upsetting.
Like, you're going to be happy when you see it, but you knew it was coming.
Sure. Okay, that's fair. So before we get to some of the other top ones on the list, a sunrise or sunset, especially at the beach.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I like a good sunset.
Very romantic.
Also, this is crazy. Fresh bedding.
Fresh bedding.
I guess the idea
out of the dryer, you put it on there. It's crisp. It's clean.
Yeah, you see it. It just looks real nice and
looks
clean,
good.
pristine.
Looks real comfy. I can see that.
Yeah, that's not something I would have ever thought of.
Me either.
But that's probably because I could sleep on a rock if I needed to.
Yeah, at the end of the day, yeah.
Yeah. So what are your answers?
One of my answers is when you're sitting down at a restaurant and you're really hungry, and then all of a sudden you see your waitress coming around the corner. She's got your food. It's on the way.
Oh, that is a good feeling.
That feels pretty good, huh? When you're looking, and then maybe the first time they come around, it's not your food, but you have that feeling when you're like, oh, it's our food. And they sat down somewhere else. You're like, it wasn't our food. Then it comes out around again. You see the pretzels come with the cheese, and you're like, here we go.
They got just a massive tray.
Oh, it's perfect.
That is exciting. That's exciting.
I'm trying to think of some other ones. That was the first one I thought of.
Okay.
Let's say the food coming around the corner. How about this one? Waking up in the middle of the night, looking at the clock. I've got 3 hours left.
Yeah.
You thought it was time to wake up. It isn't. It isn't, son.
Anything over an hour.
Go back to sleep.
If you've got over an hour before you actually have to get up, it feels good.
You're feeling great.
Under an hour feels like you have pressure.
It's too much
like
pressure.
There's still time to sleep, but you got to get back to sleep quick.
And it's not going to feel as good. If you've got more, if you got 2 hours.
Yeah.
And 2 hours or more, I mean, you're feeling fantastic. Or another good one is when you wake up in the morning and you realize you're not sick anymore. You look in the mirror and you're like, oh my gosh.
Is that really a sight?
Oh, I guess it's not a sight. That's more of just like a feeling. That's a feeling.
Yeah. Here are some of the ones
that's fair.
I was thinking of. I'm a big baseball fan. I'm big on baseball. I'm big on scenery. So when I see like a professional baseball stadium, like actually the sight when you're in the stadium and just looking out over like the whole field, that makes me feel good.
Yes, that's fair.
That makes me real happy. I could care less. I mean, I like baseball games, but it's more just about the look of it.
Just seeing it just makes you feel good. I get that.
I also like seeing the mountains off in the distance.
Okay, yeah.
Again, I'm big on nature. And this one is very unique to me, but old signage.
Old signage.
Yeah, like something you'd see on like say Route 66, or just something you can tell like this was put up years before I was born. And it's still standing strong. I like that.
I like it.
I like the way they used to design stuff. Not so much now.
Like
it's
a retro feel.
Retro feel. I love retro stuff.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Signage.
I'm with those. Make you happy.
Yeah. You got any more?
I don't know, like finding a $20 bill in your pocket. How about that?
Oh, I was thinking money.
Like if you find like a $5 bill on the ground, first you
Yeah.
survey the scene to see if anybody's coming for it, and then you slyly bend down and pick it up like it was yours all along.
Yeah, that's a great feeling. Seeing the look on George Washington's face.
Oh yeah.
Or Benjamin Franklin.
Wasn't that a great riot clip? While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.